What a night in Lisbon. Benfica hosted Tondela in a Liga Portugal clash that carried more weight than it might have looked on paper. Just days away from a massive Champions League decider, all eyes were on Bruno Lage's team to see how they would balance focus, energy, and squad rotation. And boy, did Amar Dedic steal the show. The 21-year-old right-back put in a performance that not only fueled Benfica's attack, but also reminded fans that sometimes one player can completely transform the rhythm of a game. Tonight, Benfica looked like a team running on electric power, while Tondela, despite their effort, never really found the spark. Benfica entered this game with a perfect defensive record this season. No goals conceded across 4 matches, plus the Super Cup in their back pocket. Fans and analysts alike have been talking about the new pragmatic Bruno Lage, a coach less obsessed with style and more focused on outcomes. That shift has brought results, and once again, the Luz crowd came in expecting a clean sheet and 3 points. Meanwhile, Tondela, struggling at the bottom after consecutive losses, came into Lisbon knowing they had to fight for respect, if not points. But against a Benfica side already eyeing European glory, it was always going to be an uphill battle. The game almost exploded immediately. Within the first 30 seconds, Ivanovic spotted Pavlidis darting into space and delivered a low cross shot that forced a corner save. The crowd roared, sensing an onslaught. Yet Tondela held their nerve, keeping possession in midfield and earning a couple of free kicks to slow Benfica's rhythm. Their goalkeeper, Bernardo Fontes, looked sharp early, denying Pavlidis twice in the 12th and 13th minutes. For a brief moment, the underdogs threatened to turn the match into a grind. But just when it looked like Benfica might grow frustrated, Amar Dedic decided to change the story. On the right side of defense, Dedic played like a man possessed. With pace, strength, and vision, he became Benfica's main attacking outlet. In the 31st minute, after bursting forward and pulling defenders out of shape, he slipped the ball to Ivanovic, who drilled it across goal for the opener. That goal broke the deadlock, broke Tondela's defensive structure, and broke open the game. Suddenly, Benfica went from cautious probing to relentless attacking. For fans, the feeling was that once the first went in, there was no turning back. And they were right. The floodgates were about to open. After the opener, Benfica smelled blood. Richard Rios unleashed a long-range strike that forced another save. Pavlidis missed a golden chance from 6 yards out, and Ivanovic kept testing the keeper. It was wave after wave of pressure, with the Luz crowd roaring in anticipation. By the 42nd minute, the second goal arrived. This time, Schelderup cut in from the left and found Aursnes with a perfect diagonal pass. The midfielder smashed it past the keeper with authority. At 2-0 before halftime, Benfica could breathe, rotate their intensity, and plan for the Champions League showdown ahead. The job was halfway done. While Ivanovic racked up stats, it was Dedic who turned heads. Every major chance in the first half seemed to run through him. His overlapping runs, his composure in possession, and his defensive solidity turned him into the night's MVP in spirit, if not on paper. Benfica fans, long searching for a reliable successor to Ba at right back, might just have found their man. For Bruno Lage, this was gold. Having a fullback who can both defend and ignite attacks changes everything. And with Dedic's rise, Benfica suddenly looked more balanced and more dangerous than in recent seasons. Tondela, to their credit, didn't fold. Early in the second half, they pushed higher, even winning a controversial free kick after Otamendi's foul. VAR stepped in to deny a penalty shout, keeping Benfica's clean sheet streak alive. Still, the visitors never stopped trying to find gaps. Their closest chance came when Thiago Monso cleared Otamendi's header off the line. But every time they looked like threatening, Benfica's defensive wall held firm. With Trubin rested and Samuel Soares between the posts, even the goalkeeping rotation didn't weaken the back line. That's the mark of a team built on collective focus. As the second half wore on, the intensity dipped. Amar Dedic, who had run non-stop, finally tired and was substituted alongside Obrador and Schelderup. In came Dahl, Prestianni, and Oktor Koglu Postecoglou, giving fresh legs and a chance to rotate. This, too, was part of Bruno Lage's strategy. He knew the match was under control, and with a Champions League final ahead, protecting players was key. Tondela tried to exploit the changes, but Benfica never truly lost control. Even in a slower rhythm, they dictated tempo, dictated chances, and dictated the flow of the game. The third goal came late, but it was worth the wait. In stoppage time, Prestianni found himself in the right place at the right time. After a rebound from a shot in the box assisted by Aursnes, he slotted it home to make it 3-0. The crowd erupted one final time, celebrating not just the win, but the style in which Benfica had managed the evening. 3 goals, a clean sheet, and rotation accomplished. It was the perfect night before a European test. For fans, the message was clear. This team can grind results and still entertain. Looking at the bigger picture, Benfica now has 5 wins, 4 of them in the league, 0 goals conceded, and a Super Cup already in the bag. Bruno Lage, once accused of chasing aesthetics over efficiency, has built a team that does both. They defend as a unit, attack with purpose, and adapt to different match scenarios. Tonight, against Tondela, they didn't just win, they managed the game like seasoned professionals. That's the kind of maturity that separates contenders from champions. And make no mistake, this Benfica side is playing like champions. The real talking point, however, remains Amar Dedic. In football, sometimes a single player can elevate an entire system, and that's what happened here. His ability to defend and attack, his intelligence in positioning, and his chemistry with teammates turned him into the X Factor. Fans at Estádio da Luz will remember this as the night he truly announced himself. For a club always seeking heroes, Dedic may not yet be a household name, but performances like this suggest he's well on his way. And in football, few things excite supporters more than the rise of a new star. For Tondela, the story is different. Another defeat keeps them winless, stuck at the bottom, and facing a long season of battles. But while results matter, they can take some pride in stretches of this game where they held Benfica at bay and even created chances. Against a team in this form, avoiding humiliation is itself a small victory. Their focus now shifts to more direct rivals in the relegation fight. Matches like these are lessons, tough, but valuable, and they'll need to regroup quickly if they want to avoid being left behind. As for Benfica, all eyes now shift to Europe. The Champions League final looms large, and tonight's performance was the perfect dress rehearsal. Bruno Lage's men showed balance, resilience, and flashes of brilliance. They rotated key players, gave others confidence, and still walked away with a convincing victory. That's the kind of momentum managers dream of heading into high-stakes matches. The question now is whether this form can translate onto the continental stage, where the competition will be tougher and the stakes even higher. Benfica fans certainly believe. It feels like something special is brewing. So, to wrap it up, Benfica 3, Tondela 0. A night defined by Amar Dedic's breakout performance, Ivanovic's opener, Aursnes' rocket, and Prestianni's late strike. A team still finding its perfect rhythm, but already showing the signs of a champion. Clean sheets, goals spread across the squad, and a tactical approach that's pragmatic yet effective. In Lisbon, the lights shine brighter when Benfica is winning, and tonight, they did more than just win. They convinced. The message to Portugal and to Europe is clear. Benfica is here, they're solid, and they're ready for whatever comes next.